Hey, what's going on, guys? Troy at Mountain Man Treasure here, and today we're going to talk sales and photos.
Mountain Man. Mountain Man.
Treasures.
Thanks for stopping in today, guys. My name is Troy. I'm a reseller in Montana. That means my day job is going to thrift stores and estate sales. On the weekends, I go to garage sales when they're happening. I find things that I think are priced low. I buy them. I sell them again online for profit. And I do that for the most part on eBay. So what we're going to do here first is take a look at stuff that's sold in the last 24 hours out of my eBay store. And then when we get done with that, I want to come back and talk about photos. Specifically, where do I take my photos? Where can you take your photos? How can you take your photos to best reflect the quality of your item and get more sales on eBay? All right, guys, we got a nice little hodgepodge going on here. Lots of different stuff. That's what I sell out of my store. Let's look at this one. This is a new old stock Gerber slip-on shirt made in the USA, medium. And I pulled this out of the vintage toy haul, mostly toys, but I pulled a couple of other random things out of there. And there were 3 of these sitting in there, still new and sealed. I thought, you know what? I don't know. Let's check. And I actually listed these yesterday. It was a quantity listing. They were all the same size. And somebody bought one day of listing. I thought these would take an awful lot longer to move. $4.98 plus shipping for this little vintage baby shirt. So I'll take that, and I've got 2 more. So happy with that. We've got a game over here, of course, Nintendo 3DS. This is SpongeBob Squiggle Pants. And this one sold not real high dollar, but you know I love selling SpongeBob stuff.
I don't get it.
$8.99 free shipping. Okay, and so while we're on SpongeBob, I guess this guy actually sold here this morning, right before I started recording this. It's got the Nickelodeon tag on it. It's Patrick Star from SpongeBob, and he sold for $9.98 plus shipping. So not bad for simple little plush. We've got another. This is actually a set of video games here. We've got Star Wars. This is Lego Star Wars, the complete saga for the DS. And then we've also got in there Lego Marvel. So this is a Lego set, and this one going out to Troy, actually. Copper State Thrift picked these up. He said he had a DS Lite that was not working, and he got it to work, and so now needed some games to test the thing out. So, man, I sure appreciate you stopping in the store. Really cool. He's got some good stuff. Go check out his store. He picked these up for $9.48 plus shipping. So, Troy, thanks a ton. We'll move this guy out of the way. How about this game? This is Bug for the Sega Saturn. I'll show you. It's disc only. And so there you go. Disc only for the Sega Bug. This is a good selling game. If you can find it complete, you're going to get decent money out of it. Just for the disc, $15.99 plus shipping. And that only lasted, I don't know, 2-3 days, something like that. Not bad. And then we had another viewer sale. This is from Liz, the Nerdy Picker. Check out her store. She's got some fantastic stuff. In fact, Liz, I went in there and picked up a hat. So you're going to see one of Liz's hats show up on my melon here pretty soon. It was too cool to leave behind. So I did grab a hat from Liz, and Liz is fantastic. She's been in before, and like I said, she's got a great store. So go check out Liz. She said she had to pick up some nerdy goodies and support the store at the same time. And so she got the Power of the Force Luke Skywalker. Look at this, is one of my favorite modern Lukes. He's like the do you even lift bro Luke.
We want to pump you up.
This mold, I don't know what they were thinking. It's like they used an old He-Man mold or something, and I love it. I'm here for it. So we got Luke, and then we got Poe Dameron. He's got a spinoff coming, right? I bet Poe Dameron stuff picks up in popularity and value here pretty quickly because I think he's got a spinoff coming. So we've got Poe Dameron, Luke Skywalker, and then going old school Star Trek, the Enterprise Logs. This is an old Golden Press thing. It's volume 2. I had volume 1 and 3. Those sold pretty quickly. Actually, this one sat around for a little bit. And see, this one has the original issues. This is number 9 through 17. And so Museum at the End of Time, that's a good one, actually. And so you flip through this, and it's a collection. So it's all the different comics all in one book. right? So really cool. A lot of good stuff to read in here. So Liz, thank you so much for picking this stuff up. And thank you for being another one of those foot in both camps people. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. So many people are like either Trek or Wars. They pick a side.
My side, your side, my side, your side, my side, your side.
You don't have to. It's sci-fi goodness. Like them both. I do. Liz does. She paid $24.46 for those 3 plus shipping, and I'm sure shipping is not going to be that much when I combine that. So Liz, I will get you refunded on the difference. So not a ton of sales coming through. Definitely a couple of viewer sales helping things out. So guys, again, thank you so much. Go check out Troy and Liz. I sure appreciate you guys coming in and supporting the store like that. And I promise we're going to talk about photos. And so let's do that. I get questions at least a couple times a week from folks asking, what is your photo setup? How do you take photos? Where do you take photos? How should I take photos? You know what? Like so much in my eBay business, we've talked about it before. I like to keep things streamlined. I like to keep them simple. I'm a simple guy. And so when I started out, I had a whole setup. I had the lights, I had the light box, I made myself a spot. But then I realized, sometimes I like listing in other parts of the house. Sometimes I like listing at different times. Sometimes I had things that were pretty big and they didn't actually fit my little square cube light box. I guess I could invest and get another one, but I found a better solution. In fact, a free solution. For free? Yeah, it's free. I mean, Photo Room. That's what it is. We're not going to bury the lead here. I use Photo Room. Now, there are other photo background removing tools. I haven't used them. Okay, so I'm not going to speak good or bad about them. I can't. But I will speak very highly of Photo Room. Not a sponsor of the video. It's just a tool that I use and that I really have come to appreciate, and it's a huge part of my reselling business now. It's not quite as controversial as Rollo versus Dymo, free shipping versus calculated. It's definitely in the list when there are two camps for this thing. Some people like the clean white background, right? Some people they prefer that. I'm generally in that camp. I like my stuff to be crisp and clean and displayed on a pure white background. I just think it looks better. It shows off your item better. Other people don't. Other people like putting stuff in there. Look at Poshmark. You'll see a lot of that, right? That you stage your photo. Some people do that on eBay as well. And even if it's not staged, sometimes you have a brick background or your wood background, or even if it's just like a trifold white, whatever it is, people have a background and they like using that. Reselling, guys, is so great because you do what works for you and you do what you like. Okay, so don't hear this saying, well, Mountain Man says I should change what I do. No, but if you're looking for something, if you're trying to find what does work for me, you can give this a shot, see if it works. So like I said, I like Photo Room. Now, the Google people and the eBay people tend to tell us that a plain white background is the best for the search engine. We kind of just have to take their word for it. I mean, we can do some of the trial and error. I know I think the Auction Professor, I think a couple people have done some stuff and mixed results, right? But they say that your stuff shows up better in search engines when it's a plain white background. My assumption is that way the little AI inside the machine can identify the object better. I don't know. But supposedly that's what goes on. And I just aesthetically, I think it looks better. So how do I get that then if I'm not using some kind of light box system? Well, let me show you. I actually just posted a couple of things yesterday. I'll show you where I took the picture, and then I'll show you what happened after I used Photo Room. So how about this one? First, I found some Ugg boots, some leather Uggs. They're beautiful. Now, they're not a great size 6, but I found these Ugg boots at Goodwill, and they marked them $3.99. Definitely a pickup. So check it out. Here's where I took a picture of my boots. Yeah, that's my kitchen floor. I got good light coming in from the window right behind me, and I can get back so I can show the whole thing. It works out well for me. right? But you really don't want that, right? I mean, I don't think it looks great. So I want to take the background out. So here's what happens when I run the photo through the photo room app. It's perfect, right? It took everything out. Now, the photo room doesn't work perfectly every time. It works better than eBay's background removal tool. eBay's background removal works great if you have like square corners and no shadows whatsoever. It can find it. But photo room, there's some sort of wizardry inside of that thing because it can find corners. It can a lot of times determine shadow from edge. Sometimes you have to touch it up, right? It's not perfect, but very often it does a really, really good job. And like you saw there with the boots, I think it did a great job. Now, I also sometimes take pictures on my kitchen counter, like I did for this plush. Check this guy out. So I listed this yesterday as well. I just set him on the counter. The window's right behind there, so the light comes down. It's a white counter on the bottom, but obviously there's some background, right? We don't want to list the guy sitting on my kitchen counter. So let's run him through photo room. And like that, just like that. I crop in on him and he's going to be perfect. It's going to look just fine. So now we have a white background taken on the counter, but that's a single object, right? What if you have multiples? Land Before Time. Remember the puppets? I've sold a couple of them on here before, but the little hand puppets from Pizza Hut, I have an entire set. And so I'm listing the entire set together. And so there's multiple little hand puppets here. How is Photo Room going to figure that out? Because look where I took the pictures at. Again, on my counter, there's background stuff there, right? There's clutter. And there's multiple items. How, you run it through Photo Room, how's it going to know? I don't know, but look what it did. You run it through Photo Room, it somehow knows, well, these are the things he's taking a picture of, and it wipes out the rest. Again, it's not 100%, but it's 9 out of 10, right? It works really, really well, and I think it makes it look good. And what it does is it means you don't have to have a fancy setup. You don't have to have the ring lights. You don't have to have a photo box. You don't even have to go out and buy a trifold board, right? You can take a picture as long as it's generally well lit. You don't want fluorescent lights. You want to be able to show the true color, and you want to be able to show the item. Now, you want to get close-ups. You want to showcase all of the potential errors and flaws in whatever you're selling. Don't hide them. Show them what you got. But you want your pictures to look nice. And so I think Photo Room is going to do that for you. I think if you take out the backgrounds, it looks nice, and it means you don't have to have a fancy setup. You can start this thing by taking pictures on your kitchen floor, on your kitchen counter, or you know what? I was coming back from a garage sale a couple weekends ago, and I actually was sitting in the coffee line. And there was like 4 cars in front of me, but I wasn't going to leave. I wanted to get my coffee before I went home and started processing and listing. And I thought, you know what? I'm sitting here for a while. A couple of these things have barcodes. I can scan them and list them right here. But then where do I take pictures, right? Like, how am I going to... Check this out. I took a picture of this in the car. Tons of clutter, right? Obviously not a good photo for eBay. Ran it through Photo Room. And that's not bad. So I was able to list something sitting in the coffee line in my car before I ever got home. Now it's up and available for sale on eBay. So I think Photo Room, guys, is a game changer. I think it is a fantastic tool. Now, I do sometimes use other backgrounds. I sold the Harley magnet recently. I just stuck it on my refrigerator and took a picture of the magnet on the refrigerator. That's its home.
Are you too good for your home?
So it was a close-up. It wasn't my entire fridge, but you could see the brushed stainless steel in the background. I think that looks fine because that's where the magnet is going to live. So I've done that. Sometimes I use black, either if it's a contrasting color, if it's a white item or very light color item. I do have a black piece of material that I set stuff on and take pictures on. Occasionally, I don't do a ton, but I do it sometimes just to make it stand out. Sometimes if it's a busy category, like action figure categories where there's a lot of that particular thing, sometimes I'll put that on a black background, not because it won't look good on white, but because it stands out from the rest of the listings, right? So if they're going, everything's on, that one's different. I don't know if it works, but it makes sense to me that it might work, right? It doesn't make it look any worse. Maybe it hurts it in the algorithm for the search, but if people are just scrolling through the listings on eBay, they might stick on mine because of all the white backgrounds or just sort of generic backgrounds. Mine is a stark black background. Find what works for you. Ultimately, find what works for you. And I'm curious, list it down below. Maybe you get a good idea from somebody else of how they list their stuff. But if you're trying to look for something, if you're just getting started and you're going, I don't know, I can't afford all this fancy, you don't need it. You don't need fancy. You just need Photo Room. It's an app. It's 100% free. Or if you don't like that, I'm sure people down underneath are going to list some other background removal tools, or even give the eBay background removal tool a try. It does work. Like on DVDs and games, I use that, and it works really well. There is a paid version of Photo Room, actually, and you can do a few more things with that, but you don't need it. I use the free one, and it works just fine. So that's what I got for you today, guys. Again, leave the comments below. There's great information. Read the comments below, because that's a great way to educate yourself from other resellers. So, guys, I appreciate you joining us today. I've got to go get this stuff packed up. I got to try and get some more stuff listed and get this store hopping before the weekend. See you next time.